Tawana for those of you guys who are new. And today we are taking a little tiny hiatus, a little break from my living single series, like my little spin on living alone, those diaries. And I'm gonna talk to you guys about something a little bit different. So recently on YouTube, I've been seeing that the monthly resets have been trending, and I was like, wait a minute, I do something similar, but not necessarily a monthly thing, because I'm just gonna be honest with y'all, if you give me a month, I'm not gonna make myself accountable. Like, I have to do it more often than a month. So I do something in a similar vein, but I do it on a weekly basis. So every Tuesday I dedicate time that I call my personal and professional development day. And that means that in that dedicated time, I work on my mindset and my skill set. This has nothing to do with my job. This is all about me and my personal growth. So this is how I water the seeds that I planted. And I do it every Tuesday. So I'm gonna break down like the reason why, where this kind of came from, and then basically how I do it. So in 2020, just like everybody, the world stopped. It put me on pause. I was no longer doing the hustle and bustle of moving. And so it kind of made me aware, because life had slowed down for me and I can actually just focus on self, that I was not aligned to my purpose, like at all. And the work that I was doing felt very meaningless and just like mundane. I felt like I was on autopilot for years at this point. And I remember having a conversation with God, like, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing in life. And I know why I was doing it. I was just trying to get to the bag. When you're making money and it's good money, it's taking care of the bills. And for so long, I had been in survivor mode, where the only thing that I really wanted out of life was just to be able to afford life, not necessarily enjoy life. That was some of the things that I was discovering as I was realizing that I wasn't aligned to my purpose. Like, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. This work is work, and it feels really ghetto. Like, I hated it. And even though I have a different job and a better kind of work-life balance, I still work from home. I have complete flexibility around my scheduling, and I also have the ability to have unlimited time off and things like that. It still comes with conditions, and those conditions just still do not feel like I'm aligned. It also is the simple fact that I do work that is more analytical, data-driven, requires critical thinking skills and things like that. And I am a creative person. Like, creativity is where I thrive. I feel like that's more of what I should be doing. That's really the purpose, is to do work that is very creative in some type of way, shape, or form, whether it's working with creative people or actually doing things that are creative. That is exactly what I should be doing. So with the work that I do, I feel like it is the lines, and I want to color, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to just look at the lines. I want to color around the lines, in the lines, outside the lines. I just want to color. And so knowing that, I felt very stifled, like, at work. I felt like that's the reason why I was never seeking promotions and elevating myself, because it was just a job. Whether it was considered a career, it was still just a job. It was just a means to make money. And those shouldn't be your motivators when going to work. And so when I had this conversation with God, I felt like he was like, well, yeah, I know that. Like, he knew. And it was like, who told you to apply for the job? Who told you to go on Indeed? Who told you to update your LinkedIn profile? Who told you to accept the interview or the offer? Like, nobody. You did that on your own. But I favor you. You asked for it, you got it. But I knew your life was like, I designed this already for you. So I knew, like, this was not what I was supposed to be doing. And still today, it's not what I'm supposed to be doing. But when you get there, the steps that you take to, like, figure it out it's hard. Like, you know, because you've kind of been conditioned to get a job. You apply for the job, you do the interview, you take the job, you work they train you, you work the job. Well, when you're trying to work for yourself, all of those things are eliminated. You have to build this. And knowing when to start, or how to start, or where to start, I should say, is really the hard part. And that's the reason that I started creating these personal and professional development days for myself, because I can no longer give myself the excuse or use the excuse, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to start. I don't know what to do. I don't know what step one is. And sometimes you have to build your own game plan. So for me, that's what it was. So the first thing that I do is on Tuesdays is I work on my mindset, because I realize that having confidence in like who you are as a person, liking what you look like, or those things is not the same as having confidence when it comes to your skill set and career wise. Like, it's totally different. Trusting in yourself that you can do it, all of those beliefs, those things come from building a mindset that says I can go and do it and it's going to be great. Delusional confidence, learning to have delusional confidence, that right there is a skill that not everybody, including me, I didn't have. The fake it till you make it, like I didn't know to do that. I don't know how to do that, because I just live in reality and very realistic. Like, I'm not positive Patty, like just living in like this bubble of positivity. I'm more realistic Rachel, like I'm in the moment. And yes, I'm very optimistic, but it doesn't mean that I don't look at what's in front of me. And so when you are trying to build something for yourself, you need to have a little bit more positive Patty to go along with your optimism. So that's where the conditioning my mind was. And so what I do to like work on mindset for either like an hour and a half within those Tuesdays is I meditate. And the reason I meditate is because I have to clear my mental real estate, because I work on Tuesdays, I have a family, and so because of these things, all of it is like within my mental real estate, and I need to clear it out so that I can focus on that mindset change and what I am receiving during my mindset skills and things like that. So the first thing I do is take a few minutes to just meditate, clear my mind, and just like empty it. Focus on nothing, have nothing in there, think about nothing, and just clear that mental real estate. And the next thing I do is journal. And the reason I journal is because I want to put myself into a mindset of like thinking about my goals, thinking about like my wins for the week, thinking about areas that I can improve in, and also just jotting down, some thoughts that I have had, or thoughts that I have now that my mental real estate is cleared out for the week, and I can just focus in on getting to the business of building what I want to build for myself that aligns to my purpose, getting to the goals, and just even writing down new goals that I might have for myself this week that will help me to get closer to the ultimate goal. And then after that, I read or listen to a podcast or a sermon or a motivational speech, TED Talk, anything that just is motivational, that's inspiring, that really just helps me recondition, think differently, push myself. That's the kind of content that I look for. So more in the vein of like self-help or something that's just motivational spiritually, just whatever it is that just helps me to drive and push towards the goal, that gets me amped up. That's what I'm doing during that time. Just something that amps me, something that triggers in me, something that makes me think, just so that I can start to recondition my brain so that I'm not in survivor mode, so stuck and just trying to get to the bag. I can actually dream, because the dreaming part is where you really have those visions for your life and what it looks like. And that's how you kind of can plan it out. And if this is my dream life, what does it look like? Well, if you don't dream it and you don't think outside the box and think that you can have it, that delusional confidence, then you're not going to be able to even have an idea of where you're going. Like, you gotta dream it in order to achieve it. I know that's like, right? We've heard that before, like, but it's true. It's honestly, it's true. So that's what I do when I think about my mindset. Like, I really just focus on motivation, things that drive me, things that push me, understanding what my key motivators are for work and the life that I want, and trying to get that. So then the next thing that I work on is skill set. So for me, the mindset is the foundation. It's laying down the foundation. It's telling yourself you can do it, right? You have to start there. You have to know that this is achievable. You have to know that you have all of the tools to make this happen. So your mindset for me is the foundation. The skill set is gathering the materials to actually build what you're trying to build out, whatever that looks like. An example was YouTube, right? So the mindset was just getting the confidence, learning about YouTube, learning and watching other people to try to motivate me, trying to figure out what my brand on YouTube looked like. And I've had trial and errors here, and just trying to figure out where my voice sat. And so that was the mindset part, just getting myself amped to turn on the camera and start basically talking to myself, trying to build subscribers and trying to find a community here on YouTube. Then the skill set was learning how to film myself, like, so cinematography, learning cinematography, camera angles, learning about cameras and what kind of lenses you needed to capture this type of aesthetic and that type of look, learning to edit my videos and edit and do thumbnails. All of these things are the materials that help you to build on that foundation. So the foundation is saying that you're going to do it and having the confidence to just do it. And then the skill set is gathering the material so that once you do it, you know how to keep it going. You can edit your videos, you can keep them, you know, you can capture those camera angles, you can figure it all out. And it's still a learning lesson, obviously. You get better over time with anything. That's what self-improvement is about, improving yourself over time. But that's what the skill set is for me. So when I do skill set, the first thing that I do is I look for, like, I'll identify each week something that I may want to focus on learning. And I don't just keep doing everything. Like, I break it up so that I don't get bored on Tuesdays. And it could be something like learning social media marketing on HubSpot, or learning about Canva, and how to make, you know, graphic design so that my thumbnails can be fancier, or learning other thumbnail material, like other thumbnail apps and things like that, or just some random things. Like, I find courses, I'll go to Instagram, to be honest with you, and I'll type in something like, video editing or something like that. And there's a lot of people who talk about video editing, and I'll watch their, you know, either they have a YouTube channel that I can watch, or I'll watch a few of their reels or whatever the case may be, and try to gather as much information. If they have a free course, I'll join the free course. And if I watch your, like, free course and I am not vibing you and I don't feel like I'm gonna get a lot, I just can't pay for the full thing. I'm a person that I can study and teach myself. So because of that, and because I like the art of learning, I would rather get the gym, or know how to do it, or know where to start, and then put it together. That's just me. Some people just want the information up front and they're willing to invest in it. Me personally, I'm more willing to invest in myself than, that's so selfish. I'm sorry, that sounds very selfish, but I will invest in somebody if I find that it's valuable, but not everybody. And I've invested in courses before, don't get me wrong, I've paid for them, but it's gotta be super valuable. I have to be sold, or else you'll just be giving hundreds of dollars away. The other thing that I do in terms of just skill set is just putting practice what I learned. So that's the reason why I kind of switch it up, is because like if I go and I take a editing course, now I need to take this editing course and put it into practice. If I watch somebody's video on cinematography, then I actually need to take my cameras and put them to practice and see if I can actually do what I've learned. If not, then I need to go back, revisit that video and see where I went wrong and why it's not coming out the way that I thought it was going to or should have. So I use what I learned and then I put it to practice. So the other thing that I do, or am trying to do, aspiring to do, which has been a little bit successful, like I've been able to network, but just networking with like-minded people, because I feel like when you can come together and you build a community around you, you're able to either leverage each other. If there is someone who is doing something that you're interested in that business, then you can actually ask if you can mentor them, things like that, that will help you to build your skill set. Mentorship, networking is very, very important when you're trying to build something, a brand. And I'm not just talking about on social media, I'm talking about business-wise. Like if you're trying to start a social media marketing agency or a creative agency or something like that, if you're trying to start a clothing line or some type of cosmetic line, or if you're just trying to grow on YouTube, things like that, if you can find someone who is, you know, can either be an accountability partner and keep you consistent, or mentorship, or just networking and meeting different people who can give you advice, tips, things like that, it just helps to make you push harder, because you're also witnessing and watching people who are successful in their field, and that motivates you to know that if they can do it, then you can do it. So that's the other reason why I think that networking is important. It's not always easy to network, especially if you're like me and very introverted, but it's possible. And with the world of social media, you don't always have to meet somebody in person. You can kind of find somebody that's like your internet best friend, and you guys are on Zooms or on FaceTime and all of that, and never met in person because they live on the East Coast and you live on the West Coast. You know, you live south and they live north, whatever the case may be. You will find, like, you know, you can have those people. It's just about seeing what's out there, making yourself available, and not being afraid to reach out to people, because that's the thing about me. As introverted as I am so extroverted, and I will reach out to you and be like, hey girl, all up in your DMs. Yes, I will. Because I feel like the only thing you could do is ignore me. And in my brain, I'll just be like, oh, they probably just didn't get it. It probably went into, you know, that one little spot where, you know, nobody looks for real. That's what I'll tell myself. So it doesn't bother me. It doesn't stop me, because for every, like, somebody ignoring you, somebody saying no, there's somebody that's gonna say yes. You just gotta find that right person to say yes to you. So that is what I do on Tuesdays. I just focus on self-development. I had somebody tell me when I told them that, they was like, girl, I gotta get on my Zoom. Who does that? And I just think that it's important to do this. The reason why I find this so beneficial is because if you have a weekly check-in, you have a way to make yourself accountable. You have a way to make sure that you are aligned to the goals that you have set for yourself. If you get too far into it, this is already June, and I promise you last week was January. And so it's like it moves fast. And then you'll look up and you'll be like me and be like, 2024 was supposed to be my year, but 2025 is gonna be it. But it's like, how do you change? How do you make that year your year? You gotta do the work. And sometimes the work is those checkpoints. So although I do a monthly budget, I do set additional goals for myself, I just do my checkpoints weekly. Because if I don't, the month will go by and I will have done nothing. Absolutely nothing. But binge watch Bridgerton over and over again, or something like that, or watch episodes of SVU. Matter of fact, SVU will be watching me because I'll be knocked out. Seriously, like, that will literally be my life if I don't check in with myself, because I've let so many years go by where I was just not focused or aligned to my purpose. And I know what it is. I just gotta push towards it. And I'm sure you know what it is. You just gotta push towards it. So that's really the benefit of it. It's just really just checking in with yourself, making sure that you're on track. And then if what you envisioned is not translating, you can pivot. But imagine going at something for 6 months, 3 months, and then it's not what you envisioned, and you're looking at it like, this was not what I foresaw. Then it's like you 3 months in, you 6 months in, pivoting probably will be next year. So it's just a way for me to make sure that if I need to pivot, if I need to change something up, if I need to work harder on this and less on that, I can do that. So that's the reason why I do it weekly. And maybe Tuesday is not your day that you're on your Zoom. It's just my day that I'm on my Zoom, because it's the one day that I start work early, so I know I'm getting off early. And it's the one day that I kind of make lighter on Mondays. Please. I am coming off the weekend. You are lucky I'm here, okay? Because really and truly, I dragged out of bed that day. I drag out of bed on Mondays. I dread Mondays. For no other reason than having to sign in work. On Tuesdays, I have an early morning meeting. I done got over myself. I'm ready to go. On Wednesdays and Thursdays, I kind of make it kind of heavy work days. And on Fridays, we are checked out because we are preparing for the weekend. All of those emails are gonna say from iPhone. From iPhone. You wanna know why? Because I'm checked out. It's the weekend. The weekend has 3 days, not 2. 3 in my book. So afternoon, miss me, because I'm gonna be missing. I've done my work. I'm out. I'm on the couch. You can get to me on my phone if you need me, but we'll be seeing each other on Monday. And that's just how I am. All right, guys, I hope this video gave you guys some ideas, or maybe was a little inspiring, and you'll go start your own professional or personal development day. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. I hope that you guys consider subscribing, joining my family, and becoming an internet bestie. Make sure you guys comment down below any thoughts that you guys have, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.